Hey there, sign folk. Today I'm going to do a short video on basic vectorizing in Flexisign. Um, there are instances where customers send you artwork, and although you ask for specific information, like right here, this is the PSD and the PDF. Um, but unfortunately, when I opened up their EPS file, it was a bitmap, and this is actually their PDF, which, as you can see, it is 300 dpi of full pixels. So there are no line files in this, but I wanted to show how easy it was to actually recreate some of this. I could probably figure out the font that's down here, but because these are quick jobs, you get them in, you get them back out. I'm not going to spend a lot of time searching it unless I know exactly what font that is, but it looks like a different weight. So the easy thing to do is to vectorize someone's bitmap. And so with this logo, I could probably recreate the whole logo and the shape and everything in probably, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. And so I'm going to go through how I look at this and then compare to the actual production file that I need, because these, or actually this sign will be die cut. I'm not going to print this. If I was printing, I wouldn't care. It'd be very easy. It'd take about 3 seconds to click, create a vector, mask, print, whatever. But because this will look better die cut, I need vector lines for this logo, and so that's what I'm going to do. So the first thing that I did is I guess make the shape. So the easiest way to do that, from what I see, is this arch and this arch down here remind me of an oval. So I'm going to use my Flexi tools here to create an oval, essentially the same proportion of that. I guess the size of the sign that they're requesting, which is 6 inches by 12 inches. It's pretty massive. So with the oval, I have that top arch and that bottom arch. And so the next piece, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my rectangle tool, and I am going to select a size of 5 inches and a inside radius of 3/4 of an inch of a inverted corner. And I'm just going to select that and put that right there. So with these two, I use shortcuts. Control 5 will center it within the design area that I specified. So that being said, so that looks pretty close. I think her sign was actually probably 8, but this sign is only 6 by 12. So I have the shape, and basically what I'm going to do is select these two shapes, and then I'm going to go up here to the weld option and separate weld. My shape's done. Probably took maybe 30 seconds. Probably the more difficult part, if it was difficult, would be to vectorize this lettering, this logo, and this oval. Now, basically, what I prefer to do is in Flexi, I choose to use the Bezier tool, and it gives me the most accurate results. It's not perfect by any means, but it generally works out pretty good. So I am going to use that and see what Flexi picks up, and then once it selects those, I want to go up to my node editing tools, which are up here. So these are your plus, your minus. This is how you manipulate the vector lines, how you reduce points and make points and smooth curves and all that good stuff. But what I want to do is I want to select that select pinpoint tool, and I want to select part of that vector, and I want to zoom in because I want to see how many nodes that Flexi actually added, and I want to look at the corners to make sure that they are sufficient, so it didn't add a bunch of extra stuff that we just don't need. And actually doesn't look that bad. I can see up here, what is that? That doesn't look bad. Now go down here to the font, and I'm going to select it as well. It doesn't look that bad. It's totally cuttable. It's doable. Everything looks nice and straight. So when you vectorize that stuff, obviously this circle and then this part of the window did not turn out from the Bezier tool, just because I assumed there wasn't enough contrast in it. But I'll show you a quick, easy way. I could probably do this in about a minute. So basically you take this shape, which is very basic. You get back over here to your tool menu and you select circle, and I'm going to create a circle, and I'm going to flip this over to wireframe mode just so I can better see getting all this stuff aligned. So essentially I want to make a circle, and I'm going to start with the outside edge and get this as close as I possibly can. So there's that, and then basically we're going to select an inline that matches the contour or the spacing of the other piece. And there we go. So now what I can do, work on this one, flip it back over, select the circle, separate the outline, take this outline and that outline, and we will compound it. So there's our circle. So how do we get the break in for this other piece? So what you need to do is, let's do this. Let's select all this and change the colors to make it easier to see what we're going to do here. So with this, basically you want to control shift up, or you want to align, you want to bring it to the front. And I am going to create another outline. I'll flip this back over to wireframe so I can see outline. I'm going to go to the sharp corners, and it looks like that is 0.125, which is about 1/8 of an inch. Still need a little bit more, 0.135, which should be more than enough. And basically the only thing that I'm trying to get is the spacing between here and there. I'm not worried about the corners and the rest of the outline, but I just need enough to make a nice, and you can even cut that with the other tool, but this is probably the easiest way to do it, I suppose. Select and then deselect the outline, select the yellow outline around that logo and the logo itself, cut out. And so as you can see, you've actually did that cutout. So now the next thing we need to do is work on this little guy here. Again, I'm going to take my circle tool, make me a little circle there, and get it, basically zoom in a little bit more here just to make sure that I get this radius correct. A little bit less. It's pretty close. And now we take our rectangle tool, and probably be helpful if I turn off the inverted corner option, but we'll get that in a second. Go to regular. Now in order to make this probably perfect, deselect this. I'm going to take the spacing 0.255, and I'm going to get my rectangle 0.255, and that will resize that. Take these two pieces, align vertically, and now I can weld it together. So there's that part. The next option is to take my rectangle tool again. Basically this doesn't take a lot of forethought, but edit, duplicate. Let me find it, because generally it jumps off the page there because I'm not within my frame. There it is. So, and we go to rotate, and we will take this piece and put it in right there. Let's align it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we will go that piece and that piece, align those two, and go back to our weld, separate the weld, and now we can select that shape and we can do that cutout. So there we go. So flip back over to this wireframe. This will be silver. This will be silver. I'm going to designate those by gray. Let's fix this so it's a little more, it's not close. There we go. So there we go. So now I can delete that bitmap, put this on my sign to make it fit correctly. And this sign needs an inline. Inline, it's a very small inline. It needs a little more. There we go. I think that's a little too thick there. Nah, it's fine. So let's do that one the same color as that. And so there we go. So in a nutshell, that's how you work with some customer files to make it easier to vectorize stuff. Sometimes everything that you vectorize doesn't come out perfect, and it's worth the couple extra minutes that it takes to recreate this stuff. When it comes to cutting, you'll save yourself a lot of headaches. So hopefully that helps you guys out, and we'll see you at the next one. Thank you.